Hello students, let's go for the next experiment. It's gonna be a standard deviation. We're gonna pay attention on the histogram. In this video, let's learn how to plot a, the standard deviation using the normal distribution and also using the histogram. Okay, in the previous video, you saw all the steps in detail for the standard deviation. In this one, let's plot, right, the set collected for a specific experiment, and then also find and compare the result to the normal distribution. Okay, let's do it. In this experiment, we are using a ruler like this one. Okay, and we are taking the reflection, right? And in this case, we are releasing the ruler. You're supposed to grab it right away. And the point in the centimeters that you are grabbing the ruler is going to be the data that we're supposed to use for this experiment. Imagine again, we have this situation. Let it go. You got it right here. It's about 12 centimeters. One more time, right? About 14, correct? About 12 and so on, right? One more time. Oops. About 9, correct? One more time. About 16. Right? One more time. About 15, correct? And so on. About 10. Imagine that this is your data right here. Gonna be from, let's say, from 12 to maybe 16. The total is gonna be 20 trials, right? 20 trials. Okay, now using this information, let's plot the histogram, and also let's find the normal distribution. Okay, let's do it. Let me share the screen and go to Excel. Okay, let me share the screen. Now let's go to Excel. Okay, imagine that this is the data. Let me give you some data that again help us to solve this standard deviation. Imagine this is the data. Let's say 20. The next one is 21, right? The next one is 22. Okay, 23. Okay, let's say 24, and again, we repeat 23, 21, 22, 23, 21, okay, 23 again, 21, correct, 22, 24, 20, imagine, okay. For you, it's gonna be 20 trials. For me, let's use only this, like around 15. Okay, let's do it. So we have this data. The next step is to find the beam. It means the groups, the range that we want to use. Because these numbers are very close, let's use the beam of 1, right? It means these are the groups, right, that we are using for this analysis. Okay, the beam. Okay, let's go by 1. And let's start right here. The minimum is 20 and the maximum is 24. Let's give a range of 2, right, in both sides to make a nicer curve. Imagine then that we start from 18, correct? 18 and then 19. And we go to 26. Okay, let's do it. Let's go to 26. Okay, and that's the band for this one. Okay, now let's look for the frequency. The frequency, because some of these trials or these distances are repeated 2 or 3 times. So let's find that frequency. Okay, in this case, let's go to frequency. Remember, every time we're looking for a function, we start with the symbol equals that represent the equation. Okay, let's go to frequency. In this case, I'm gonna be equals and just type frequency. As you can see, it comes right away, right? And it's right here. Now what happens? I did it, I click it 3 times, too much. Okay, now it says right here, what is the data array and the beans array? Okay, this is the data right here. Okay, let's do the data. Okay, perfect. And then comma. And then let's go for the beans right here. Okay. Great. Enter. We can see right at 18 centimeters, we have 0 frequency. Now, let's highlight this column that we want to plot or write the frequency. When it's done, we go to Ctrl Shift Enter, and we get the frequency. Correct? Okay, great. Now let's plot these two columns to make a graph. Again, highlight these two columns. Let's go to Insert, and then let's go to Scatter right here, and let's go to this command, this format. You can see this demo behaves in this way, right? Usually, to make it nicer, we expect we have like real experiment, more data. We expect to have right here like at the center more a higher frequency. Imagine that we're gonna do that again. Let's go for let's say instead of 22, instead of 24, let's make it 22. Okay, just to improve the graph. Another 24. This one, make it 22. Correct. And look, we have a better graph. Imagine. Okay, great. Now let's center the graph. As you can see, this graph goes from 0 to 30, but actually we need only from let's say 18 to 26. Let's do it. To do that, we click on the x-axis, right? And we have these 3 bars. Okay, let's click on these 3. Oh, actually, it's right here. Now let's go for the minimum, right? Number, let's say, which one? 18 or 17. Let's say 17. Okay, and right here it goes automatically. So this is again the graph that is coming from this data. Now let's plot the normal distribution. Okay, to do that, we need to find the average. Okay, let's go for the average or mean. Correct. And because it's a formula, we start with equals and then we type average. It's coming right away, right? Look, average. And it goes again, numbers. Let's highlight the columns with the numbers we're using, the data, and enter. So this is the average. Imagine this is in centimeters. The ruler right is in centimeters. Let's use centimeters. Don't use millimeters, just centimeters. Okay, perfect. And make an approximation actually. Okay, also let's find the standard deviation. In the previous video, I explained how to find all the steps to find the standard deviation. Using Excel is only one function and that's it. Okay, it's gonna be standard deviation. Deviation. Okay, again, it's gonna be equals STD, and we have 2 types: is standard deviation for population and standard deviation for sample. Let's go for samples. Okay, perfect. And again, enter the data. This is the data we're using in this experiment, and enter. And that's gonna be the standard deviation. Okay, now let's plot the normal distribution. Okay, let's do it, normal distribution. In this case, let's open a new column and repeat the bins column, right? It's gonna be 18, 19, until 28. Okay, let's do it. Okay, 26 actually, right? 26. Okay, perfect. Now it's gonna be the distribution, normal distribution. Okay, distribution. Perfect. In this case, let's again enter the formula. It's gonna be equals and normal distribution is coming right away. What is the first one? Correct. And now let's follow the instruction. Let's start. Let's introduce first the values. X is gonna be coming from the bin right here. Perfect. And then comma. let's go to the mean, which is already found right here, right? The mean is right there. And in this case, let's click on F4 because we want to fix this number. F4 to fix it, comma. The next number is going to be the standard deviation. Okay, let's go for the standard deviation. Also F4 to fix that value because it's a constant. And then we go to this function. It's going to be true or false. Let's use false in this case, false. Perfect. And we get the first data. Okay, now again, roll it down to get all the information for our point. Correct. And this is the values for the normal distribution. Now let's make a graph. To do that, then we want to make a graph in the same graph as for the original data. Okay, let's do it. So in this case, we click on the graph, right? And we go to this icon right here, and let's go to select data. Okay, let's do it. And we want to add another curve, right? So we add right here. Now, right here, we enter the X values. In this case, is the bin column right here. Perfect. Now let's go to the Y values. And let's enter the distribution. Correct. And now this is okay. And we have the normal distribution. But look, you can see right here, this is very small compared to the original one. So we need to increase this, the center to more or less this quantity, right? Number 5, like in the previous graph, right? Perfect. To do that means that we need to multiply this distribution by a number that gives us this value. You can see the maximum right here is like a 0.3, and right here the maximum is 5. So 0.3, how we can get 5? When we can multiply this by what? By 15, by 16 to get 5. Let's do it. So let's click on this cell, and then let's multiply this by, let's say, 16 or 17. Let's make 16. Okay, enter. And again, go through the whole table, and we get, look, we get the normal distribution. Actually, it looks like should be better if we use 15. Let's see what happens if we use 15. Okay, 15 instead of 16. Let's do it. And again, do the calculation for the rest of the values. Okay, it's not too much difference. Let's leave it like that. And right here we have, again, the normal distribution, which is the orange color, and we have the graph that represent the data that we collected in the experiment. You can see these are close, right? Okay, this is one of the graphs that I want you to show me in your calculation in this experiment. Okay, now let's use the histogram graph. Okay, let's do it. The same thing. Let's go to plot these two columns. This is the original one. Again, go to insert, right? And we get the same curve. Again, repeat the x-axis because we want to take only the section we are working with, correct? Now let's go to axis options and let's go to the minimum. Again, let's use 17, right? The minimum, and the maximum is adjusted by itself. Okay, the same graph as before. Great. Now, in this case, let's go and click one more time on the graph. And now let's add extra elements, okay? Add chart element. And let's go to error bars, okay? And let's go to more errors, correct? And we have this graph. Now, let's go to minus right here, look, minus, and let's go to not cap. Perfect. Now also let's go to percentage. Let's use 100%. Okay, great, done. Now, look, click on one of these lines, the vertical lines, okay, click. And let's go to a paint right here, or fill lines, right? And let's go to increase the width. This one right here, look, we're increasing the width, and we have the histogram in this way. You see it? Okay, yes, we have the histogram in this way. Perfect. Now, let's also create the normal distribution right here in the histogram. Let's do it. Let's repeat again the steps. Let's click on the graph. Correct. Click on the graph and go to add. Where is it? Right here. Where's the graph? This is the graph. Okay, perfect. Go to select data. Correct. Add the normal distribution. Again, the X values are gonna be this one. Correct. This is the X values. I'm looking right here. Why we don't have? Okay, looks fine. Okay, X values goes right here. Perfect. And we're going now for the Y values. Okay, the Y values is the distribution values right here. Perfect. Okay, and okay. So we have both graphs, the histogram and the normal distribution. Now let's delete this blue curve because it's already in the first one. Okay, okay, click it right here and now go to lines, right? Lines and no lines. Okay, and we delete that line. Perfect. Let's do the same thing for these horizontal lines, correct? Again, we don't want those lines. And we have the two graphs that we expect in this experiment. Okay, we have the graphs that give us these two lines and the other one that give us the histogram. Okay, in this experiment, I want to see these two graphs in your lab report. Also, the name of the charts, the figures, right? Just write a name. Let's say histogram, right? Histogram for the first one. Okay. And also we need X and Y axis, correct? X and Y axis, label it. In this case, you can go through this part and let's say which one's a good one for us. We can go by this one. Look, and we have x-axis. What's x-axis? Is distance in centimeters, where we can use x or d. Okay, d in centimeters. Okay, perfect, correct. And the y-axis, you can call it a frequency. Okay, this is the frequency. Great. And now you have your beautiful graph in this way. Okay, by the way, what's the histogram? What happens to the histogram? Okay, something happened. Okay, we are right here. Okay, this is the histogram. I want to see both, right? Histogram and normal distribution, the same thing happens right here. Okay, one more time. Why the histogram disappeared before? Okay, let's go to, okay, let's click on this graph. One more time, let's go to charts design. Okay, one more time. Why disappear? I want that to disappear. Okay, which one? Oh, wow. Why disappear? Looks like the second one. Okay, let me see. I don't want that one. Let me go to this one. Okay, one more time. Okay, oops, disappear again. I can't believe it. Wow. Okay, let me see what happened. Okay, now let me click on this one. Okay, because I want to label the graph. Why the histogram disappears? Okay, just look for, try to find out, right, the best way how to plot the names of the axis X and Y. Let's try this one. Okay, let me see this one. It works too. Okay, one more time. Let's see on this graph, on this one. Okay, if something disappears. No, right here it's okay. Look, we have the two graphs. Wow. So in this case, look, let's label the x-axis and y-axis. But right here, something is not good. Well, you can do it. You cannot do it. Just leave it like this. It's fine. You can do it. Please write x and y axis. Okay, great. And that's gonna be today's experiment, and see you in the next one. Okay, bye.